People say heartbreak makes you stronger. That is a lie. It makes you stupid, reckless, and capable of pretending to love someone else just to prove a point. At least, that's what I told myself the night I introduced Emilimi fake girlfriendo, the woman who once swore she wanted something real. Her name is Sarah, and she left me 2 months ago. 2 months of silence, of unanswered texts, of wondering why the coffee shop we used to haunt felt like a graveyard without her laughter echoing off the brick walls. She said she wanted commitment, a future, something I apparently couldn't give. I tried to accept that, I really did. But when she saw me with Emily, her eyes betrayed her sharp, green, and burning with something dangerously close to jealousy. I never thought I'd see that look again. The story begins in Boston, Massachusetts, where the air in September carries both the crisp bite of fall and the soft scent of change. I was sitting with Emily in a dimly lit diner, the kind of place where neon lights hum against greasy windows. We were laughing too loudly at a joke that wasn't funny, our hands brushing across the table like we were high school sweethearts. I felt Sarah's presence before I saw her, like a ghost I never managed to banish. When I finally looked up, she was standing near the counter, clutching a paper cup like it was the only thing keeping her tethered to earth. Her gaze landed on me, then on Emily, and I swear the world shifted an inch to the left. Sarah walked over, each step deliberate, and forced a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Didn't expect to see you here," she said, voice steady but sharp enough to cut glass. I almost choked on my coffee. Emily, bless her oblivious heart, smiled warmly and introduced herself. "I'm Emily, her girlfriend." The word girlfriend hung in the air like smoke. I didn't correct her. Sarah's expression flickered surprise, pain, anger, maybe all three. And for the first time since she left, I felt like I had power again. Dangerous, intoxicating power. But power is a fragile thing. Turns on you. Later that night, I found myself pacing my apartment, staring at the ceiling as if answers were written there. Emily was kind, funny, and easy to be around, but she wasn't Sarah. No one was Sarah. And the worst part was knowing that pretending with Emily wasn't just hurting Sarah, it was hurting me too. The truth? I still loved her. I hated that I loved her. 2 weeks passed, and the tension built like storm clouds over the Charles River. Sarah kept finding excuses to show up. She claimed she needed to return a book I'd lent her months ago, or that she just happened to run into me at the grocery store. But every time she saw Emily's hand in mine, her lips tightened, her voice sharpened. Jealousy was written across her face in bold strokes she couldn't erase. One night she finally snapped. I was leaving a small gallery opening with Emily when Sarah appeared out of nowhere, blocking my path. Her chest rose and fell with the kind of anger that comes from loving someone too much and losing them anyway. "Is this what you wanted?" she demanded, her voice low but trembling. "To parade around with someone else just to prove you can move on? Because you haven't. I can see it. You're not over me." Her words sliced through me. Emily squeezed my hand, but it felt wrong, hollow. "And what about you?" I shot back, the bitterness spilling over. "You left me because I wasn't serious enough, remember? You wanted more. You wanted someone better. So why do you even care who I'm with now?" For a moment Sarah's tough facade cracked, and I saw the truth flicker in her eyes. She cared because she still loved me. That night, when I was finally alone, the weight of it all crushed me. The fake smiles, the fake relationship, the fake version of myself that tried to act like I was fine. But I wasn't fine. I was still tethered to her, whether I wanted to be or not. I didn't sleep. I just replayed her words over and over, trying to decide if I should let her jealousy break us further apart or pull us back together. The next morning Boston was gray and wet, the kind of day when the streets shine like mirrors and every sound echoes louder than it should. I sat by the window of my apartment, a half-finished cup of coffee cooling on the table, staring at my phone. Sarah's name lingered in my recent calls, unanswered, unreturned. I thought about deleting it, about erasing her completely, but my thumb hovered and froze. I couldn't do it. Not yet. Emily came by that afternoon. She had always been sweet about the whole thing, even though she knew what we had was an arrangement. We'd made a deal: help each other avoid awkward questions at family dinners, make exes jealous, pretend we had it all figured out. But she wasn't blind. She saw the way my gaze drifted whenever Sarah was in the room, the way I laughed a little softer, breathed a little harder when her name came up. "You know you can't keep doing this, right?" Emily said gently, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "You're hurting her and you're hurting yourself. And honestly, I don't want to be in the middle of it anymore." Her honesty was a relief and a wound all at once. I nodded, swallowing hard. "I know. I thought I could move on if I faked it long enough." "Love doesn't work like that," she said, smiling sadly. "You either face it or you run from it. And you've been running for too long." When she left, the silence in my apartment felt heavier than ever. But her words lingered, like a bell I couldn't unhear. 2 nights later, I found myself outside Sarah's building. Rain soaking through my jacket, nerves knotting my stomach. I didn't plan what I was going to say. I just knew I couldn't keep playing games. Not with her. Not with myself. She opened the door, surprise flashing across her face when she saw me standing there dripping wet. "What are you doing here?" she asked, voice guarded, like she was bracing for another fight. "I'm tired of lying," I said, breathless. "Emily isn't really my girlfriend. She never was. It was stupid and childish and I'm sorry. But you don't get to be jealous unless you still care. And if you still care, then I need to know." Her eyes softened, the fire dimming into something raw and vulnerable. She stepped aside and I walked in, my shoes squeaking against the hardwood floor. The apartment smelled like lavender and old books, exactly as I remembered. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The silence stretched thin, like a wire ready to snap. Finally, she whispered, "Of course I still care. That was never the problem." "Then what was the problem?" My voice cracked and I hated how small it sounded. She hesitated, twisting her hands together. "I was scared. I wanted something real, something that lasted. And I thought maybe you weren't ready. Maybe I asked too much too soon. So I walked away before you could prove me right." The ache in my chest deepened. "You broke us because you thought I wasn't enough." "No," she said, stepping closer. "I broke us because I thought I wasn't enough to make you stay." The truth between us hung heavy in the room, painful and beautiful all at once. I felt my defenses crumbling, the walls I'd built to keep her out collapsing under the weight of everything we hadn't said. "I never stopped loving you," I admitted, voice barely above a whisper. "Even when I tried to pretend with Emily. Even when I told myself I was fine. It's always been you, Sarah." Her eyes glistened, and before I could take another breath, she closed the distance between us. Her lips met mine, hesitant at first, then urgent, desperate, like she was afraid I'd disappear if she let go. The kiss tasted of salt and rain and every sleepless night we'd spent apart. When we finally pulled back, foreheads pressed together, she whispered, "So what now?" "Now," I said, smiling through tears I hadn't realized I was shedding. "We stop running. We stop pretending. And we figure it out together." The days that followed weren't perfect. We still fought, still stumbled over old wounds and new fears. But there was honesty now, a fragile thread tying us closer instead of pulling us apart. She met me halfway, and for the first time I didn't run. One evening, weeks later, we walked hand in hand along the Charles River, the city lights shimmering on the water. The world felt softer, lighter, as if the universe had finally exhaled with us. Sarah leaned against me, her hair brushing my cheek, and whispered, "I don't care if it's messy. I just want it to be real." And in that moment I knew it was. Because love isn't about perfection, or pretending to have all the answers. It's about choosing each other again and again, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. And as her fingers tightened around mine, I realized that losing her had been the most painful lesson of my life, because it taught me how much I never wanted to let her go again. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe to get notifications about next videos.